Hi, my name is Ashley Federoff, and this is my field study presentation for LBSC 707. This year I completed my internship at the Young Readers Center at the Library of Congress. The Young Readers Center is a division of the Center for the Book, which is an outreach program at the Library of Congress. It's relatively new. While the Library of Congress is 215 years old this year, the Young Readers Center is only 6 years old. It was designed to appeal to children and young people visiting the Library of Congress after a delegate from the House of Representatives visited the LOC with her children and found that there wasn't much for them there. The Young Readers Center provides educational programming for school groups and summer camps, as well as weekly story times for babies and toddlers, and specialized programming for parents, librarians, and other educators. The Young Readers Center serves the public mainly by encouraging literacy and a love of reading in children and young people, which is also the mission of the Center for the Book. It is a haven for children and their caretakers at the Library of Congress. I enjoyed telling people when they came to the YRC that it's the only place in the Library of Congress where you can touch a book without having a reader's card. The Young Readers Center provides resources and book lists for parents and educators, such as how to build a home library or best of book lists from ALA. They provide educational programming, which integrates Library of Congress collections for DC area schools and any other schools who can manage to reach the YRC from across the nation. And the Young Reader Center staff informs visitors about the mission of the Library of Congress, specifically for children to understand. The Young Reader Center is staffed by 2 full-time staff members and 1 full-time volunteer, who you can see here at the right. On the top is Karen Jaffe, who is the program director, with Jared Krzoska, whose name I cannot say. He's a children's book author. And in the bottom picture, you see Kaheen Muhammad and Monica Valentine, who is the full-time volunteer with the same author. The YRC is also staffed by a revolving group of volunteers who are usually there seasonally. The main service that the Young Reader Center provides is a collection of non-circulating books for children and teens. The Young Reader Center has everything from board books and picture books to early readers and middle readers, nonfiction for children, young adult novels, including advanced reader copies, which gets teens really excited, and resources for parents and educators to learn more about literacy. The Young Reader Center provides educational programming and early literacy programs, including a weekly story time for babies and toddlers, which is so popular that they've had to cap attendance at 50 people at a time. They also host the National Ambassador for Young People's Literature. This year, it's Kate DiCamillo. In the past, it's been John Sheska and Walter Dean Myers. And they create tailored programs for school groups and camps that integrate Library of Congress primary sources and that help children learn more about the Library of Congress and the Young Reader Center. The Young Reader Center also provides special programming for educators and parents, including DIA, which is the Diversity in Action program. They've had a program on reluctant readers. They host author visits regularly. And here at the right, you see a Wendy Heinrich's reading going on. And in the past, they've hosted theme days, which include special crafts and activities and book displays. They've done space themes, pirate themes, holiday themes, and many other themes besides. The Young Reader Center has to collaborate with other divisions and programs at the Library of Congress in order to reach their mission. Some of the major collaborations that I saw during my internship was with the Educational Outreach Division to teach the participants of the Summer Teacher Institutes more about the Young Reader Center and how it can help them in their practice. The Young Reader Center in the past has completed programming with the Manuscripts and Maps Division for a pirate theme day. They work regularly with the Visitor Services Office to offer tours and programming, as well as the Children's Literature Division. My goals when I started this internship was to serve visitors of the YRC through information and reader services and to provide access to resources for parents and educators. I also wanted to develop educational programming for Young Reader Center visitors, especially children and young adults. I have plenty of experience creating programming for young adults, but not as much for children, so I was looking forward to serving our younger visitors. And working at the Library of Congress is kind of a bucket list item for me. So my daily tasks at the Young Reader Center, including manning the information desk, which was very important because a lot of visitors to the Library of Congress didn't know that the Young Reader Center existed and sort of stumbled upon it by accident. So at the information desk, we were able to tell them a little bit about our mission and what they could do at the YRC. I created book displays and prepared for the National Book Festival a good deal, which I'll talk about later. I shelved books in straightened reading rooms, which was a huge part of the job because it's a reading room for children, so it often gets messy. I participated in programming for school groups and camps, and I created informational presentations and bibliographies for visitors, mostly to let them know more about the National Book Festival. One ongoing project that I did at the Young Readers Center was to prepare for the National Book Festival, which is September 5th at the DC Convention Center, if you're interested in going. I created bibliographies mostly about books about Thomas Jefferson. As you can see from the NBF poster at the right, "I cannot live without books" is the tagline for this year's book festival, and Thomas Jefferson said that to John Adams in a letter. So a lot of the programming that the YRC is going to be creating for the National Book Festival has to do with Thomas Jefferson. I also kept track of books that came in from various publishers and authors who will be featured at the National Book Festival, and I created book displays and PowerPoint presentations to let visitors know more about the National Book Festival and the authors that will be featured at the children's tent, the picture books tent, and the teen pavilion. Another project that I completed regularly at the YRC was programming for school and summer camps, which included read-alouds, tours, age-appropriate activities, and school-related lessons and activities. While I was there, we saw a 5th grade group come in from Oklahoma, and we did a program for them on how a bill becomes law. We saw a 1st grade group come in they were learning about Thomas Jefferson, so we read a book about Thomas Jefferson's library and then took them on a tour of Jefferson's library at the Library of Congress. We had several congressional summer camps come through, and we completed tours of the Young Reader Center and treasure hunts for them so that they could learn more about the YRC. And I also helped prep for various upcoming programs that I'm not going to be there for, such as a program on poetry, a program about the upcoming Star Wars movie and authors who created children's novels about Star Wars, and a program celebrating the 150th anniversary of the publishing of Alice in Wonderland, which is very exciting. Another project I completed at the Young Reader Center was collection development and maintenance. Specifically, I visited the surplus books division to choose books that are appropriate for the YRC catalog, and I added them to the catalog. You can see Joe Mahar here. He is the director of the surplus books program, and the YRC gets many of its books from the surplus books program and then later returns older books to the surplus books program so that they can be circulated elsewhere. Some issues I found at the Young Reader Center mostly was that it was very small and very low on the totem pole of the bureaucracy of the Library of Congress, but it had big responsibilities, specifically informing children and their caretakers about the goals and mission of the Library of Congress and the center of the book. They do this by providing resources and activities for a few hundred visitors every day, but they have very little funds to create those activities and resources. The Young Reader Center is also a big part of creating the National Book Festival, and my supervisor let me know that a big part of his budget went to creating resources for the National Book Festival. There are pretty much no funds to purchase books, so the Young Reader Center relies on the surplus books division to supply books, and they're pretty much at the mercy of whatever the surplus books division has for them. Another issue is that Kaheen, the program specialist, and my supervisor is frequently training new volunteers. I feel bad because I was only there for 2 months, and I was just trying to get the hang of things, and then I had to leave. And finally, the Young Reader Center is an outreach program for the Library of Congress, but it's really limited to people who visit the Library of Congress and students and educators in the Washington, D.C. area. Unless people from other states can afford to come to the YRC, there's not much that they can do for them. Some skills that I feel like I gained while I was there: I'm much more familiar now with children's literature and children's reader services, and that was definitely one of my most enjoyable tasks at the Young Reader Center, was helping children and their caretakers find books to read while they were visiting the Young Reader Center. I also have a better understanding of children's educational programming, specifically the importance of including movement in all of these programs, because children don't like to sit down for a long period of time, so it's necessary to give them programs that get them up on their feet and moving. I also became much more familiar with the Library of Congress, the collections at the Library of Congress, and how to incorporate the primary resources into educational programming, which is definitely going to be very important for my career going forward as a school librarian. And I got a little bit of collection development experience, which I realize is pretty unique to the Young Readers Center, but it was a pleasure to do in any case. Final thoughts about this internship. Will I ever work in a federal institution? That's not likely. I work in an independent school right now, and I really enjoy the amount of autonomy that I have, and I didn't really see that at the Young Readers Center. Kaheen and Karen were really limited by their budget and the amount of work that they could do with other programs in the Library of Congress. They are very creative, but like I said, I enjoy the amount of autonomy that I have, not working in a huge bureaucracy. Will I continue to use Library of Congress resources in the future? Definitely. And now I have a much better understanding of how to find them and who to contact and how to integrate them into my practice. It's very exciting. Definitely made this internship worthwhile. Will I consider children's librarianship in the future? Almost definitely. I think I really enjoyed working with children. It was a different comfort level for me, but I enjoyed the entertainment aspects of working with children and their parents, and I think I could definitely do that more. And finally, I was able to view the difference between service-related positions and management in such a small program. And upon reflection, I definitely enjoyed interfacing with visitors at the Young Readers Center more than I would enjoy Karen's job, which had her pretty much tied to her desk the entire time I was at the Young Readers Center. So in terms of preferring management or service-related positions, I definitely still prefer service-related positions in libraries, which put me in contact with patrons. This was a fantastic internship, and I'm really thankful to Karen and Kaheen and Monica for showing me the ropes, and this is an invaluable experience that will definitely help me become a better librarian in the future. Thank you.